Good afternoon, YouTube. It's been a while, so I just wanted to kind of start episode 2 of our journey. And what I'm going to do for episode 2 is simply we're going into all the panels, right? The external panels, and we're going to show you how this comes together as a system via these external panels that most people don't get to see. I don't care. We're going in. I'm going to show you what's inside those panels, and you're going to see the truth behind the system, right? For the most part. I am going to take you up on the roof, and we're going to get some close-up shots underneath the panels, see how they're mounted to the roof surface, and then and we'll go from there. Once the system goes into PTO, then we'll get a little more in depth about the system and its functionality and all that good stuff, right? But for me, it looked like it's going to be a while because, like I told you guys on the last video, I am getting the array, the photovoltaics to be augmented. We're going to add 3 more panels, so instead of 22 7.1, it's going to be 25 at 7.6, right? And that was kind of partially aesthetics because my son brought it up and I was fine with it until he said something. But once it got in my head, it's like it's it's incomplete. It looks that way, and you guys seen the video of what it looks like. So we're gonna put 3 more in the incomplete stock and just make it symmetrical, and then also get a little more power out of it, right? So that way we don't fall short even on beautiful cloudy days like this, which is rare in Florida. But I'll show you a little view of that in a second. Other than that, I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time. It's good to see you guys. I hope all is well in you guys' life. I pray that God has done nothing but great things and continues to do great things for you guys. And I'll continue to glorify Him, and I hope you do the same because with glory comes praise, with praise comes revelation, and we all will grow to a higher being if we just surrender ourselves before Him and know that He is ultimate in all our lives, right? Well, with that said, God bless you guys. Good to see you again. Let's get into the first panel. I'm gonna cut to that here in a second, and then we'll explore. All right, see you in a bit. So, guys, as promised, this is what it looks like in Florida today. As you can see, not much for solar potential, right? But that's all good. You're expected to have these kind of days regardless of where you are in the world. All right, so that's what my sky looked like. It's all good. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna open up these panels and we're gonna take a look at what's inside. Just a disclaimer, guys, I am very familiar. I'm an engineer and I'm very familiar with electricity and what these panels can do and what they contain. So I caution you, this is not a tutorial. I'm not trying to show you how to do this. This is why I'm just going to open the panel off video, show you what's inside, and then I'll close the panel off video because this is not instructions for you to open any panels, and I'm not recommending you do this. I just want you to see what's inside. I'm qualified to do this, so therefore I'm not at much risk when it comes to this part of it as much as you are. We're not going to go into the main panel because there's really nothing in there to see but a 200 amp breaker that disconnects the house from the grid. We are going to go into the gateway. We are going to go into the generation panel, which is a load center, and we're going to, there's no need to open the the main disconnect, AC disconnect here. That's irrelevant. The 2 main ones, I say for the most part, I may open it still just so you can see the fuses and how it channels up to the generation panel, and then and that'll be that. Then I'll take you guys up on the roof, and that way you can see what the panels look mounted to the surface of the roof plane as it lays. Sorry, a little tight tongue today. It's been a long day. I'm tired, but I really want to get this out for you guys before I leave, and that way you can have a little insight since we're still waiting on things to happen pertaining to the system going live. All right, so I'm gonna cut. I'll open this and then I'll get back with you guys. All right, stand by. Oh, by the way, look what's in my hand. Yeah, baby, it's time to get it on. All right, guys, I'll see you in a bit. Thanks. Bye. All right, guys, we're back. Remember, this is straight to the point, the real deal. No editing required, just simply showing you facts, right? So the first one we're going into is the gateway. As you can see, for those of you who are competent or knowledgeable about electrics, right? What we have here is a simple switch, right? It's a glorified switch. That's all we're doing is switching loads, right? We're taking the main grid off, and we're allowing the balance between the battery and the solar to power the house at any given time. Only time the main load or the grid needs to come off is when you're in a grid out scenario. That's what this guy will disconnect and prevent the grid from having any solar potential at all to secure the safety of those linemen working on the system in whatever capacity. So as you can see, we have our loads, and we have L1 and L2. L1 and L2 here is what's going out to my house. This L1 and this L2 is what's going out to the house. All right. And then we have our loads coming in from the battery and from the solar system, photovoltaic system, right? And that's what the other two small gauge wires are. All right, see what that is? Again, switch. And then here, this is what goes out to the grid. All right, simple. Come across here, and we go into the main disconnect panel. All right, that's all that is. And we have CT1. This is what's given Tesla the information based on the for those girls. Sorry guys, that's what's given Tesla the information or the load for the grid usage for your app and whatever other utility or web device you're using or web app you're using to monitor your energy usage and all that good stuff. All right. CTs, just for you guys that don't know, stand for current transformers. All right, that's one. All right, I'll pull back. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is the brains of the operation. This is what coordinates all that information, brings the network into it, and sends network out. This is what's feeding also the connectivity to the batteries and the communication, facilitating communication to the batteries. And there's if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong on this or maybe right, but there's an inverter feed there to the signal wire that tells the inverter that the grid is down, right? It creates an external error, or it might just be as simple as the absence of power or energy. All right. So just a fadeaway there, not much of a fadeaway, but a pullback, and there's your gateway. It's short, two antennas, as you can see. Our terminal lugs for our L1, L2, our load coming in from our generation panel, or the load center as you would know it. And then we have the main switch that takes the grid offline, and then we have the L1 and L2 going out to the grid or to the main panel that supplies the grid. All right, where your meter is. All right, so we'll go ahead and just switch over here to the main disconnect. As you can see, it is exactly what it is. Two big fuses there, a big mechanical throw that connects line to line, just a separation, so these guys can make themselves safe if they come here and they have to work on a transformer here for this neighborhood, or a pole transformer, what have you. There's not one over there, right? But I know there's one over here. That guy up there. Let's see if I can zoom out for you guys there. There we go. That guy right there. So if these guys feel like the need to check my system to determine that the system is not feeding power back into the grid, and they want to safeguard themselves against that because they're uncertain, which is in their right, and I don't blame them. They can come and throw that switch and isolate the grid, isolate my system completely from the grid. All right. Again, just a quick synopsis, right? So, and here, this is the generation panel, or what we know as the load center. So as you can see in here, it's simple what we have. I mean, there's labels, but I took the main panel cover off. So you have the two CTs here that will show the feed coming from the solar system, which will include the panels and the battery. That will be these guys right here, 1 and CT2. That's the Tesla CTs. And then, of course, for you guys that are aware with Sense, these are where my Sense CTs are placed. So I can also monitor the solar energy and do direct comparison against Tesla when it comes to my energy production. You know, I kind of preview it when the system was being tested, and it works great. And it seems like Tesla and Sense is on par with one another when it comes to the panel production. All right, so it's kind of tight. There's a lot of stuff to get into the small box, but I'm grateful that we're able to use a small box and not some obnoxious panel that totally just aesthetically destroys my wall. You know, I'm still a home, you know, not an industrial center, you know, this definitely not a warehouse. So, you know, that was one of the conditions I had to establish with my wife, that we weren't going to deface the house as much as possible. And that's why Tesla was my primary choice, because Tesla is all about, you know, appearance as well as performance, right? And we know that from the Tesla product. You see, these guys don't make trash, you know. They're still kind of refining the whole solar city bit, right? Which wasn't at Tesla standards, but it's coming to be that way really fast, and I can definitely appreciate that. So here we have a simple, we have battery 1, battery 2, and then we have inverter. Yep, that's it. And that's it, right? So it's real simple. And all these combined come out on one lead. It comes down here into the disconnect. This is why this will separate all my solar potential from the grid, because once it comes down here, comes in, it loops in, it disconnects, and it comes down, right? Loops up, and then loops in and comes across into the gateway, and you can follow it up there, and boom, it terminates onto those L1 and L2, which ultimately feeds right back to the house. All right, through the soften, I think is what that's called. I just learned that word the other day, and I may not have said it right. And if I didn't, oh well, you guys can correct me. But that kind of stuff I'm not too familiar with, but that's fine. The important stuff, which is this stuff, the electrics of it, I got that down. All right. So there it is, guys, in a nutshell, right? As promised. Boxes, right? I know I made a promise you guys gonna see those batteries at some point in time, but right now we just got to get the system officially online, man. As you can see, I still got just my regular meter. None of that stuff has been done. It still needs to be done, but we still got that change order that we're gonna put those additional 3 panels. That has to go through before we can get the inspection and all that stuff completed, you know. So, but other than that, these guys did a great job. As far as I'm concerned, this is good. This is partially tight because a lot of this excess in here is for my Sense CTs, which won't normally be in here, but it was the ideal place to put them, so that's where I have them. But other than that, it's a clean wiring, man. They did a great job. I think the two who did this bit was Dan and Kevin. And again, Captain Jack. These guys are a great team that works for Tesla. If you live in Florida, and especially Central Florida, you probably can talk with your energy consultant if you're having if your system is being installed or will be installed, and request the Captain Jack team. And these guys did a great job, and they definitely know what they're doing, and they work well with one another. It was a fantastic experience working with them. All right, there it is, guys. Those are your 3 main external panels. I hope this does something somewhat for your curiosity. And if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, so we're going to go ahead and transition from the ground to the roof, which is going to be a challenge. But because my ladder isn't quite tall enough, so I got to I'm tall, so it kind of works out. I can kind of compensate for the for the variance in the height, but I've managed to do it many times in the past, and hopefully I'll do it this time with you guys without any problem. All right, next time you see me, we'll be up on the roof checking out the panels close up. All right, take care, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. All right, guys, I hope you can hear me. It's a little bit windy, but we're on the roof, and navigating over to the panels. Just wanted to give you guys the approach and also give you a little view. All right, here we are. Simple neighborhood, right? Nothing significant. That's what it's about. Houses being built. It's a total of probably about 10 houses total for this neighborhood, which makes it a little bit exclusive. Neighbor got some cool trucks, man, especially that white and green one. Oops, I don't know how good this is gonna come out, but there we go. Trucks are awesome. All right, guys, well, let's get back to the point. So pulling back, see that wonderful sky, but this is why we're up here, right here. All right, 22 panels. We still have to add 3 more to the stack right here. There's plenty of room, man. Why couldn't we see this during the planning process? It's all good. We'll get it fixed. That's what we're working on now. So just showing you guys what this kind of looks like up close. Get you down on these guys. See how they all connect. Some of the stuff you don't really see. I want you guys to have like that first-hand view. See the cool stuff here. And grounding right there. See how these guys put these panels, see how these guys actually interconnect these panels seamlessly, no wires hanging on the roof. See if I can get you underneath here. It's kind of hard. I don't know how far. Yep, there we go. Come on, guys. Let me reset on you here. Maybe I can do like a flashlight mode here. There we go. See that? Wires are awesome. Nothing like touching the roof. This is good stuff, man. Let's get in here real close into these guys. You fill that with sealant. As you saw in the first video, Collins explained to you guys really elaborate explanation as to how they work. I appreciate him for that. Again, I apologize if you can't hear me too well, because I'm trying to do this. I'm on the roof and it has a little bit of wind going on, so I apologize in advance. All right, and then let's look at the last but not least. Let's look at the penetration into the house. So again, right, I tell you guys, great job. This area where I'm at will have a final, but there's the penetration into the house. I hope you can see it. There we go. Focus in. Look at that. These guys, a great job. So you can feel nothing exposed. It's good standard. Simple but effective, you know what I mean? This is what it's about. Alright, so now you've seen the panels, you've seen the boxes. Only thing that's really left, guys, is to get you squared away on in all the performance. And believe you me, that's coming soon. So be prepared for it. Like I said, the next time you see these panels, we're gonna have a change. And that change is gonna be right in this space. So instead of 22, it's gonna be 25. And we'll put 3 more panels in this open space right here and complete this stack. Right up to that point. And then we're in like Flynn. And then we'll have a symmetric system producing, what are we talking about 500 more watts, which is awesome, especially in low light days like today. Show you that again. Low light days like today, where power is at a premium, right? We need as much panels as possible to pull in as much as possible. So that's that. That's what it's about. All right, guys. All right, so at this point, I'll go ahead and switch to my final thoughts, and then we'll go from there. All right, guys. So there you have it, right? So we saw the gateway, we saw the load center or generation panel, and we saw the main AC disconnect. All right, so you saw the internals of these things. You kind of see how it comes together, where we pull all the solar stuff together, and then where we join or disconnect from the grid, so to speak, right? Then we just recently looked, which you can see in my background, the panel scenario. You'll see how it's mount these pucks that mount to the roof, they're clamped to the rails of the panels themselves. Sorry if I'm cutting myself out there. And you see how the technology is and how it will look on your roof if you install a solar system, right? You saw the penetration into the house for the final lead going down to the inverters. Sorry about that again. And so that's the system in a nutshell. You're already seeing the power walls and the inverter. So no need to show you guys that again. Just look at episode 1, right? This is the sequel to that, episode 2, and so on and so on. So you've already seen how that is, so no need to go over that again. We may at some point pull the side panel in so you can kind of see what's behind that side panel in, which is not a lot to see. And I'll show you that, but probably wait before during the time of PTO, and I'll show you that at that point, part of episode 3. All right, and then we can go from there. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the little tour of the system. I hope it increased your knowledge a little more for those of you who don't have solar, and those of you who are thinking about solar, and give you some sort of comfort, because this is one of the best decisions I've made in my life. This is an investment, and it actually is an investment with returns. I am able to make money on this, right? It exceeds my power needs. It gives me a zero, not necessarily a zero power bill, because you still have your connection and taxes and all that good stuff, the stuff that the government don't let you get away with, but it at least minimizes my power bill, the lowest it can possibly be, which gives me the ability to save money, bottom line. So that's where I'm at on that, and I'm 100% on board with that reality, because the day another hurricane come into Florida and we lose power, I got power. I'm sorry about that. I mean, my neighbors are more than welcome to run an extension cord. I'll supply them all with power, because I got plenty, and I will have plenty, because there'll always be a surplus. And this is whether or not the grid exists or if the grid doesn't exist. I still have power. Hence why I went with 2 power walls instead of 1, because 1 power wall has this limitation, right? So maybe you guys will be awesome enough to help me out and use my my referral code right in the bottom, and get me that founder power wall, you know what I mean? Because of if you get 5 people, this thing that Tesla runs, if you get 5 people to subscribe, you know, or get 5 people to purchase solar, they will, you'll get this power wall, this founder edition power wall, which is supposed to be this red power wall. I don't think it does anything more. It's just painted red, right? But guys, honestly, if I don't get it, I don't care. These 2 power walls do exactly what I need. And if you guys do use my referral and I get it, great. God bless you guys. I appreciate that, because the more power, the better, right? I would like to go 3, 4, 5 days instead of just maybe 2.5, 3 days, you know, based on, we're going to do power management. Obviously, we won't run certain things, but right now I'm dying to do those tests with you guys to outline what the actual results are going to be based on a 2 power wall solution in a house my size with the occupants that I have, right? Soon to come. Episode 3 will be the beginning of that, because that's when the system comes on, and that same day we're going to do the initial test, which will just be run the system the way the house normally runs and see how long it lasts, right? All right, cheers. I'm going to go ahead and kill the video at this point. I'm tired of standing on this roof, and I hope this did something for you guys. God bless you all. You know where I stand on that. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to answer them the best of my ability. All right, God bless. Take care. See you on the next one.